Don't fucking worry.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, hi there. Fancy seeing you here. God, it's been so long.
Is this episode
almost
6
been a
or
week.
7? I don't know anymore.
Episode 7.
Seven.
Of 4 Guys 1 album.
Oh, yes.
Right. I can't.
So last week I got a bit of a shafting. It was fun. It's probably not the best shafting I've had. But yeah.
It does just scream energy.
No,
wait, what was the quote? It's so energy.
It got very heated, didn't it? And
beef.
it's probably
It's so
going to
energy.
get heated again today with our question of the week.
Oh no. Oh no. I've been preparing emotionally for this one. I'm not
is-
ready.
What is your biggest music hot take? Let us know down in the comments. Jack,
So who wants
what's
to
yours?
go
Why do
first?
I have to go first?
because you seem
Because you're
pretty
the one who's
excited
going to
about
spark
yours.
controversy, so let's go.
So I've got 2 because I couldn't pick between them. And I know that one is going to spark debate, so I'm going to go for the one that's kind of not going to start debate in this group.
Okay.
In this group.
99% of country music is bad.
See, I kind of disagree with that. I disagree with that. I know I grew up with a lot of country music playing, and I play guitar, like acoustic guitar.
In the fields in
So
Australia.
country is.
On Ayers
So
Rock.
I will openly admit I have a soft spot for country music.
I hate the way it's produced. Especially modern country music sounds like ass.
I agree.
Oh my
I agree with
God.
that. The way modern country music is produced.
I like. Don't get me
Fucking
wrong. You've got
abysmal.
bangers like Fleetwood Mac back in the day, mwah, and like loads of like 60s like folk and country and singer-songwriter stuff is awesome with like lyrics about war and religion and stuff like that. And then now you've got songs that are just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna drink some lager from my pickup truck and marry my sister. Yeah, it's so bad. I just can't stand it. And my other hot take.
We wish to just say that we don't mind country musicians. I'm
honestly,
sure they're nice
if
people.
that one had a debate, I thought that was going to be universally accepted. So this one isn't going to go down as well.
Oh no.
Some of Nolly's production is boring.
Oh no! You just fucking had to do it, didn't you? You shat on Spencer
Mate,
last time,
it's
and now
so,
you're fucking shitting
it's just so
on every
clean.
member of
There's no kind of edge there. It's just so like polished. It's just so like why? I don't
But
understand.
isn't that what you want? Isn't
But
that what
where's
you
the
want?
emotion? It just feels like a bunch of fucking sex robots just slapping some snares. I don't see the vibe. Where's the vibe?
I sort of very slightly agree with you on the new Haken stuff.
I see.
Yeah.
I only say
Vector,
some. I only say some. Most of his stuff is pretty
only on
sick.
some, because it still sounds really good, but I get what you mean with the like.
Hereafter by Architects was mixed by Nolly, I'm sure, and that sounds fucking heavy.
But like, it's just there's some songs that I'm just like, it just sounds like it just sounds like a metal band. They don't have like a unique individual sound. Like, I know Josh, I know you don't like the production of Baroness, but you could hear a Baroness song and be like, that's Baroness. It's something original.
I guess so. I know, but the way that P4 sounds is
I know the way that
incredible.
P4 sounds, but you look at someone like, I don't think he's the best producer in the world. I do think he's a little overrated. But you look at someone like Rick Rubin. All of his albums that he produces sound different. None of them sound the same. A lot of Nolly's stuff sounds the same.
I think.
I don't know, if you're talking about some of the best producers...
That was a big hot take. It is a big hot take.
If you're talking
don't
about some of the best
entirely-
producers out there, I don't think he's in the top 5.
Yeah, I don't entirely disagree, but equally, I don't agree.
I'm not saying, because a lot of people, when they hear, I have this discussion with a lot of other football fans, when a lot of people say overrated, it doesn't mean bad. What,
Bad.
like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think Nolly's bad. I don't even think he's okay. Like, I think he's good. I just think a lot of people are like, oh my god, Nolly, God, oh my days, he's so good. Phil.
Suck my
But,
bass. Nolly.
But like,
I say that I have Nolly's bass right behind me.
but like,
Good.
I
Can't
don't,
escape him. He's
I don't
everywhere.
think he's god tier level of like, I don't know. When you look at someone like Tony Visconti or like some other producers, he doesn't like scratch that surface for me. That's I'm out of these hot takes now. I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to upset anyone else.
Okay, well,
Who's
Next one.
speaking of overrated.
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Antidote To Chaos.
Whoa!
You just
You're
burned
wrong.
your
You're
own
wrong.
band.
Next one. What's the next hot take? Who's going? Is it Kieran?
It's me, yeah. Speaking
Yeah.
of overrated, I'm about to yeet myself out this window, so I don't have to endure the punishment I'm gonna get. Tool are overrated.
Oh no!
Wait,
No,
who
you
did he
can't.
say? Who did he say?
We cannot live in the same house.
Who did he say? Who did he say was overrated?
Say that again. Say that again.
Tool.
Oh no!
And we'll go back. We'll go back to Josh.
Guys,
we'll go back
to be
Jack's
fair,
point.
you do need a high IQ to understand Tool. And
Are you gonna go back to when I said that overrated doesn't?
Now my point still stands, and as Jack said, overrated doesn't mean bad.
It's not a band. No. This is a finisher band. It's a finisher band. It's a band for the gods! The golden god! I am a talent! And my rage knows no bounds! Think about what you've done.
Just gonna put the microphone over here. As I was saying,
is he gone?
overrated doesn't.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to go to the toilet. What did I miss?
So you're saying that overrated doesn't mean bad?
Your
So
words. Your words.
So so you're saying you think they're good, just not like amazing.
It's a little bit, yeah, because it's just, it's one of those, because
Okay.
obviously, like, we went to see them at Download, and I really did enjoy them, can't take that away, and I've listened to all their albums, and I enjoy them, can't take that away. It's just, part of me just sometimes does think
Is it
it's
because
like,
we like bum off them?
No,
So-
it's not that, it's just like, because I think it's just personal, obviously a lot of these things come down to personal preference, and even though what they do is musically obviously very experimental, and the stuff they do with the Fibonacci sequence, is it?
Oh, all in lateralus.
The
circle.
circle.
The circle.
circle.
If you think about it, yeah, you know, and that's usually what Tool fans bring up, like, oh my god, you know, it's amazing, amazing.
The circle.
Yeah,
that
the
is usually
circle.
what two fans just scream online. The circle.
Yeah, and it's just, I just, it's one of those. It's, yeah, a lot. To me, a lot more people would know about Tool if they were that amazing. If you know what I mean.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I accept what you're saying. I appreciate that someone can prefer someone else to someone else, and that's fine. That's fine. Everyone can have their own
Yeah.
opinion.
It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it
yeah,
but,
it is. You can be wrong. That's fine.
You could be wrong.
Okay,
Yeah.
we've still got another
Alright.
2 hot takes. We've only done 2.
Right, I'll go
Jesus.
next. I'll go
I-
next.
I think I
Okay.
burst a blood vessel. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, here we go. I'm ready, Josh. Hit me.
So-
dear. Go.
Not only is Injustice for All my favorite Metallica
Oh.
album,
Oh no! Don't you dare!
But-
Don't you dare, Greg!
I kind of don't mind the fact that it barely has bass in it.
What? Why?
Oh.
That doesn't make any
Because-
sense. It's missing an instrument.
So, okay, so firstly, you listen to something so much that you kind of recognize the way it is. Then you listen to the All and Jason for All and Justice bass boosted, and it's completely overdone. There's not a single version out there where the bass fits with the rest of the instruments because they turn it
that's
up way
because-
too much.
That's because they've just boosted it. It's not like the bass hasn't been produced into the track. Like, you'd have to re-record the whole album to get some. So I do see what you're saying from that perspective of those videos on YouTube aren't as good as like the actual album. That's fair, but like, I don't know, because I think what annoys me about Justice is that album has the potential to be the best, but because of the way it sounds, I can't.
See, like I've just I've learned to overlook it, and it really doesn't bother me anymore. And yeah, I said it.
But you listen to the way Master sounds, and it literally sounds like if thrash mixed with like sex, that's what it would sound like. It's just beautiful.
Mixed with sex.
Oh. You know, I can. Yeah, we've had this discussion before, Josh, and I accept your opinion because Justice is all. We're discussing between, in my opinion, what's like a 10 out of 10 album and probably another 10 out of 10 album. So like, it's kind of
100%.
just like, would you rather lose your leg or your arm? Like,
Yeah.
they're both great. So
Well, that phrase right there, would you rather lose your leg or your arm, is definitely the something Noah's going to be saying to me after we end this call.
so that brings
Are
on
there
to
are there any
brings us-
chainsaws lying about, Kieran? I want to make use of them.
Okay.
what's your hot take,
Okay.
Noah? I'm excited now.
Okay, so I was trying to think of one that would go vehemently against Kieran for a second, just after what he's just said to me. But no, I'm gonna go back with my original. So the one that I thought of, and it kind of links with today's album in a way.
Oh.
So Josh might not like this, but I think the best Steve Wilson was Porcupine Tree.
I agree.
Arriving somewhere, but not here.
It's
That's
not.
all
I mean,
I'm
to
gonna
be
say.
Fear of a Blank Planet is
Yes,
is
Fear of a
Yeah,
Blank Planet
like
is
Fear of a Blank
insane.
Planet and Aesthetize Way Out of Here is I get it. I'm not annoyed by it because I get
Okay.
it.
Okay. We ended on a nice note. That's nice.
Nice and
Yeah,
peaceful.
no,
Nice note.
and
we
that
also ended
does
on a note-
does lead well into the album we're talking about this week,
Indeed.
and also the fact that we've been talking about controversial things because this is a pretty controversial Steven Wilson album.
I thought I'd be seeing more hate for it online, though. I thought I would be
yeah,
seeing
I've
a
not
lot of
seen-
hate, but I've just
I've
not
seen
seen it.
anything.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, Steven Wilson was in Porcupine Tree, prog rock band, went a bit more heavy in the 2000s, excellent material, and it sort of disbanded it in this last decade to do solo stuff, a few albums like The Raven That Refused to Sing, and 2015's Hand Cannot Erase, which is in my top 10 albums of all time. It's fucking perfect, start to finish. And then 2017 he puts out To the Bone, where he kind of starts going in a more poppy direction. He
Yeah,
starts
I-
saying like instead of the sort of all the prog bands he grew up with, he started channeling the influence from everything else he listened to growing up, like ABBA, the Beatles.
Yeah.
So he starts going in that direction. So I knew that when we get to this album, I knew that he'd go further that way, and that only turned out to be true when Personal Shopper came out last year as a song. And I was quite confused when I first heard that. I knew he was going to do something like that, but I didn't know what to think of it. So it's definitely, this is a guy that's definitely, he doesn't write music for anyone else but himself.
Yeah.
You know that when you get
100%.
you know that when you can get Elton John on your album and you get him to read out a shopping list.
Yeah. Shaving cream.
Yeah.
Volcanic ash soap.
Eyelashes.
Deluxe
Expensive
edition box
headphones.
sets.
So strange.
Fitness.
I end up
condoms.
going back to this discussion every time any time like some sort of rock act does anything sort of poppy. I remember when Enter Shikari did the same thing on The Spark.
Yes,
But,
Spark.
It's I don't mind when artists go poppier. Like a lot of bands have done it really well. Like Radiohead have done it countless times where they've succeeded and done it incredibly well. And it can be done well if, like, at the end of the day, it's kind of like a film for me. Like in a film, if the writing and directing is good, I don't care who's in it or what
Yeah.
the film's about.
Yeah.
It's the same with music. If the lyrics, the performances, the production is good, then you can't really hate it because then you're just looking for things to hate.
Yeah.
But like
No, I agree with that.
with To the Bone especially, that album, in my opinion, just didn't have a clear direction. It was just every other song was just totally different. I just didn't really vibe with me.
Now that this came, like, I'm kind of glad we got a few songs sort of in the year before this album came out, because it put me in the mindset of I can't go into this expecting something like Hand Cannot Erase or Early Porcupine Tree. And when I listened to it, I did think, like, I'm glad he just went completely in that direction. Whereas I like To the Bone, but I sort of realized that he's stuck between these two worlds. And yeah, like you said, a clear direction it sort of needed.
Oh yeah, I've got it in my notes. I like how this album has. It's very much got like it's got an aesthetic and it sticks to it well.
Yes.
It's all about synth pop and capitalism bad, and it carries that on from start to the end. And I was like,
I'd
what?
say-
Fair. I rate that.
It's
I'd
quite.
say in terms of like concepts and things like that, this album has nailed its concept down to a T. It's like by miles better than To the Bone, because I really have no idea what was going on.
Like
with that.
even when he went
didn't.
when he went to sell like one limited edition deluxe box set, he sold one copy of it for £10,000. I don't know if anyone bought it, but it was on sale for that.
Jesus. See, it was quite interesting when I listened to this as well, because this was my first Steve Wilson album. So it's
Really?
so it's
You're
going
in
to be
for
funny.
a hell of a ride when you go
Well,
back.
Yeah, so it's going to be really funny going back and hearing
Yeah.
these differences, what you're on about. But I mean, for straight up from the opening tracks, what is it? Unself and Self. I literally I wrote down in my notes like hello there, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, hello there kind of thing, because I was genuinely like, I'm gonna like this album. I can already tell
do
just
really
from
like
the
the opening
first
tracks, to be
minute
fair.
opening track.
Unself and Into Self.
Yeah, there was.
Oof.
It's going to be really funny as well going back, because
Naughty.
going back on his other albums as well, because from this one I wrote down that I was getting strangely got David Bowie vibes.
I
Like,
also
was-
wrote that
yeah,
down in
I
my
was
notes.
strangely
I was
getting
there.
David Bowie.
I was
You know
there.
what?
Don't you
You
worry.
know what? I didn't make note of it, but now that you've said it, 100%.
Yeah,
I really
same.
don't know how I missed
And you
that.
know what? There's nothing wrong with intimidating God sometimes.
There's not.
nothing
There's
wrong
not.
with it.
Also, like I wrote down as well. I don't know, in some of the high falsetto parts, I don't know if he's the one actually doing them, because obviously he did have a few like backing vocalists on. Like he obviously had session musicians in, but there's some vocals where I think it was on King Ghost. I think it's on that one, and there's like some high falsetto vocals, and I literally put Jesus save his balls please, because like I was
Giggle,
like.
can you show me this
Yeah,
man's
he
balls,
started-
please?
I was like, damn.
He
need to
started
know.
doing a lot
It's
more
for scientific
falsetto stuff
research,
recently.
And then there's a track, I forget which one it is, Josh, you might be able to know, where it's like this really lovely string section, like this string riff. I think it's like the fourth track or something, or maybe it is King Ghost, or maybe it's the one after it.
12 Things
Was
I
it
Forgot.
12? I
Things,
forgot,
yeah,
yeah.
12 things. Oh, it was beautiful
I
string
forgot.
I
arrangement.
really. That's why. Like,
into you.
that's the one thing I'm glad that this album does, is that you still have a lot of elements of Steven Wilson. I think that comes out in like 12 Things I Forgot, in Man of the People.
Yeah,
And in the final track, Count of an Ease, especially with all the mellotrons, and I think it's the only track on this album that has a mellotron that really surprised me.
I did write down instrument variety as well. Like, there's a lot of different instruments on this album.
I did know that was. Whenever you get a Stephen Wilson coming, you always know
Is that always
there's
a-
going
is
to be
that always
some
a given?
West,
Yeah.
Definitely get a mix
West
of, like,
instrument
a lot of-
styles.
Yeah.
There's always some. And going back to the production conversation we literally had like 10 minutes ago, you know that this is a Stephen Wilson album
Yeah.
because the production is so unique.
Yes.
No, this is what I was on about.
That's the thing. It's like is one of the few people who can just do everything, from writing, producing, singing. He probably played 90% of
Yeah,
the
he
stuff
plays
on this
most of
album.
the instruments.
Yeah. Right, okay, so cons. I kind of felt like texture-wise, it was a bit thin in places. Not everywhere, but I kind of I don't know. This is just a personal preference. It might have just been because I was listening from first to last just before it, where it
So nothing
it's
quite
like-
nothing sonically matches to you from first to last. So, like,
Why
my-
isn't
my-
he screaming?
my sonic listening is just out the window at this stage. It's now Sonic listening.
Sonic listening.
But yeah, I don't know. I kind of found like it was a little bit empty. I think production wise and everything, it was fine, but it kind of just felt a little bit empty occasionally. I can't remember any examples off the top of my head, but there were some places where I thought there could possibly be just a little bit more going on here, just a little bit. Like, it's very, very nitpicky.
Maybe in that 12 Reasons song, I think, maybe. Because I remember feeling that was a little... If I remember right, that one was a little bit...
12 things I forgot.
Yeah, 12 things. If I remember right, that's a little bit more stripped back than the rest.
The only
I think.
cons I kind of have, I mean, pros, we've already said them all, like production. So I put some songs groove because they do groove.
Oh, yeah,
some
definitely.
songs do be grooving.
Eminent
they
sleeves with
indeed
that
be grooving.
bass.
And yes, and like concise production. I've put there's some tracks that are just a little, they just blend in a little bit. Like there's some songs that are just a bit forgettable, but like it doesn't take away from the overall thing. And I actually don't like how this album ends.
I don't. Oh, I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
I
Okay,
think
so
the
that
ending
was-
is very not bad, but meh, just very.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Meh.
It wasn't what I was expecting
Do you-
from everything else that led up to.
Do you know what
So
I
is
wrote
it
down?
just me
agree
that
with
likes
that.
it?
Do you know what I wrote down?
I think it is just you that likes
It's just
the
you that like answer. But I actually wrote down it could have ended on Personal Shopper.
I think. You know what?
Personal Shopper would have been a great ending. That would have been a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
ending.
actually, it'd have been sick. I kind of like where Personal Shopper is, but yeah, if they ended it on
I love that song.
But that's
I think
yeah.
that's-
That's such a tune.
I think that's the strongest song on the album. Like, it really grew on me after I...
Well, I remember as well when I was looking at it on Spotify, and obviously it says 9 minutes, and I was like, ooh, you know, because after you listen to the start of the album, and it's like they got this groovy feel.
It does justify its length, though.
Yeah.
It does. It
100%.
doesn't feel like it goes
Yeah.
on for too long.
It doesn't. It's actually it's a really nice
it
9
doesn't
minute
get
piece.
boring or.
I think as well, out of all the songs, like, I think it's probably the most Steven Wilson because just the sheer ambition of it.
Have you
Yeah.
seen the music video? Have
Yeah.
you seen the music video for it?
No.
Yeah.
It's just this guy walking around like a shopping mall. Like he has to buy things.
Yeah.
Like he's like I have to buy things to like feel better and like. And which is kind of like the whole point of the song. It's a really strange music video to watch. Just this guy like hunched over, like running through the mall, like
It's kind of weirdly surreal,
Ravenous.
If I remember it correctly. Just very strange.
Consumerism. Ooh,
Yummy.
Yummy consumerism.
Oh,
volcanic
get
ash
in my belly,
soap.
consumerism.
I've got the whole thing here, Jack. Sunglasses, teeth
Yes.
whiteners,
Hey,
deluxe edition box sets, volcanic ash soap.
let's stop there before we
Noise
get copyright
cancelling.
striked.
I know, right? Yeah. Should we move on to the scores?
Before we move
Oh,
on
yeah, I
to the
was gonna
scores, before we move on to the scores, that just reminds me, just because it has Elton John on the one bit where he's like talking about songs. It just reminded me of like that's a hot take that I totally forgot. Is I think Elton John's overrated, and then he just comes in with these like list of shopping songs. And I'm like, best song Elton John's ever done.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Best song Elton John's ever
my
been on.
God.
But yeah, anyway, go on to the scores.
All right, go on, Josh.
I'll start. Okay, so yeah, I enjoy this album. I think he set out to do something and he's done it to a T. The only thing I'd say about this album is like I listened to it a few times, obviously when it came out in January, but I don't really come back to it as often as I thought I would. There's one or two that I'm not 100% sure on as a full-on album. Like I come back to like Personal Shopper and everything, but there's some songs that I don't dislike any of the songs. It's just I don't really feel like listening to it as an album a whole lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for that, I'm
Right,
giving
yeah.
it a 7 out of 10.
Oh.
Dum, dum, dum.
Not a strong start for the Wilson. Who's next? Kieran?
Yeah, I'll go. So I thought it was an impressive album, just because of the variation side of the instrumentation. I did think it could have ended 2 songs before, like on Personal Shopper. I did write down though, because I always have this thing where if you'll get what I mean, but when you listen to an album, sometimes depending on how the album is, do you ever just think, man, that'd be a great summer album? You know, when summer comes
Yeah, I do
round.
understand. I mean, to be fair, it
And, like,
was
stick it
supposed to
on.
come out a lot earlier,
Yeah.
but because of
It was going to
COVID,
come out
it
June
got
last
pushed.
year, so it would
Yeah,
have been
it
a
got
summer
pushed.
album.
So
It's like I kind of get that vibe off bands like Chon, you know, where it just makes you think of
Chon. Oh,
It just makes
fucking
it just
love
it
Chon.
kind of just makes me think of a very, very specific type of weather.
yeah, I get the feeling I get when I listen to this album is like driving in your car, the windows fully down, the sun's blazing, you've got your arm on the wheels, sunburned to hell.
You've just left the Trafford Centre with a bag full of shopping bags,
Just got your new Volcanic Ash hand stove.
with your noise cancelling headphones. On.
Headphones.
But I gave it an 8 out of 10. I
Ooh,
thought it was a very enjoyable listen.
Strong score. Noah, what we saying?
Right,
This is
okay.
tense.
I quite liked it. I did quite like it, but seeing as Josh gave me a 4 out of 10 last time.
Is this how it works now, is it?
This is how it
It's
works.
just going to be a weekly grudge match between me and Josh if who can score the lowest. It's shit. No, I quite like this album. I've given it an 8 out of 10 because it's probably like I've not listened to much Steve Wilson, and especially after listening to The Bone, I was kind of a bit like, oh, but this kind of sort of changed my mind on it a little bit. This kind of made me realise, okay, he's kind of all right post Porcupine Tree, so I might might check him out more. Like, again, like the only reasons like it wasn't any higher are for the reasons that I stated. That and as you said, Josh, it's not something that I'd come back to. Not something that I'd come back to at least regularly. You know.
Yeah, I think it's like if I want to listen to Stephen Wilson, I'll put on like Hand Cannot Erase or Raven
No, I agree.
or Porcupine
Yeah.
Tree. I'll sort of go to it. There's nothing wrong with the album, but I just
No,
I know
no,
the
exactly.
preferences.
It's just how it suits. It's just how I find it. But yeah, I give it an 8.
Well, I actually, for someone who has listened to quite a bit of Stephen Wilson, I actually did really enjoy this album a lot more than I thought I was going to. I thought I was just going to be like, ugh, not another crap shit show.
Not
of
another
mess.
one.
No, another rock
But,
turned pop.
I know,
Yeah.
but like, I actually really enjoyed it. The production was solid. There were some bangers. There do be some grooves. Some songs are laced with crack. Because they're just Personal
they're
Shopper
quite-
is
quite
addictive.
Moorish.
I know you say
Yeah.
you don't go back to the album, but I go back to Personal Shopper
Oh, yeah.
individually a
Oh,
lot.
I go back. Yeah,
Um,
I'll go back to Personal Shopper. I think.
For that reason, I do think it's in contention for to at least be in contention for the list of my favorite albums this year. So I gave it an 8.
Oh,
So
So 8.
so that gives it
a.
that might
32.
take over.
It definitely
someone
takes
say
over
32?
from first
I'm
to
really
last.
bad
Yeah,
at maths.
32. 32. 8.
Oh, that puts it joint third with
Yeah.
Bill Murray.
That'd be
Oh,
31.
do we have any sort of tiebreaker?
Jack, math, 31.
No.
Wait.
What?
You are
8, 8, 8, and 7, 31.
31. Oh well, it's not.
Oh
it's
shit!
not.
You gave it a 7. I thought you gave it an 8. My
Nah,
bad.
7.
Sorry.
Well, it's
So are you
Bill
saying-
Murray is
Are you-
Bill Murray is ahead. Of
Are you
Steven
saying Bill
Wilson.
Murray beat
That's
this album?
beautiful. Bill Murray is better.
I
than
love-
Stephen
I
Can I
Wilson.
love
retract my
democracy.
score from Bill Murray?
It's a beautiful thing.
God damn it.
I'll bring another one.
Bill Murray
I'll
just
give it a 10.
God damn it.
So
dear.
Steven Wilson is the 4th best album we have reviewed so far,
Well,
Damn.
and then it's Health in 5th, and
It's gonna
Dead
be so-
Trees 6th.
Oh, poor dead trees.
Alright, we need to find
It's alright.
we need to find another. I mean, mind you, if Noah keeps picking like he's picking, then we'll probably end up one.
Then
with a
we'll
lower
have
score.
It's a race.
We'll have
It's a
a
race to the bottom.
we'll fucking have a relegation zone at this rate.
Alright,
Right.
well, that's it for this one.
So yeah,
Did you think that Stephen Wilson was as good as Bill Murray? Like, comment, subscribe,
let us know
share.
what you thought.
Indeed.
In a while, crocodiles. See you next
We'll see
week on the ATC podcast. Air horns. Like, everywhere.
420 Blazer, yeah.
420 Blazer. Oh, no. Capitalism
Get
bad.
this-
Oh.
Oh, no.
Bye.
Yeah, in a bit.